Hey everybody, welcome back to Still Can't Cook. I'm your host, Kelley Fahey. Thank you so much for coming back. If you watched last week, you should go back and watch it if you didn't, or the week before last. I recently did this new filler thing in my face. I don't know if you can see it. I'm still a little bit bruised. I guess it was 2 weeks ago maybe I did it. But they went in and they put a bunch of something. Like usually I do filler, just normal filler in my cheeks and wherever else they see fit. Some new thing that they shoot in, and it really did lift everything 2 weeks ago. It's dropped now. The Sharpay showed back up today. But it's supposed to, over time, bring water to where, bring more, I guess it's collagen, brings water to the place it was shot in, and your face will fill up, and you got to do it 3 times. So I have my second round set up for, I think, next week. And it was good. I mean, it looked really good the first few days. And then it kind of, she told me it was going to happen. You swell up, and I shot the day I was all swollen and it looked fabulous. And so then everything kind of leaves and normalizes. You have to massage your face. And then it kind of goes back to semi-normal. And then as time passes, it should bring more water to wherever you shot. I guess that's how it works. I'm talking like I know what I'm talking about, but that's, I think, the gist. Doing that, I was out last night and I met a woman who does fillers. And first thing she said to me, I said, "It's nice to meet you." She said, "I'm a plastic surgeon. I specialize." That's not a surgeon. Sorry, she's not a plastic surgeon. She's, I think, an esthetician or a what's that called when you're a skin doctor? A dermatologist, maybe. But she specializes in injectables, which is one of my favorite things. So I love her. And she said, "You definitely need to have your cheeks done." I was like, "Nice to meet you too." So I just walked around the restaurant for the rest of the night trying to hold up my cheeks. But yeah, I think one of the things I keep talking about on here is this maintaining yourself and maintaining your looks. And one of the things, and it's big for me, it's not everybody else's bag. I'm not trying to push it on you if you're natural with your wrinkles and your gray hair, and people do that, and I couldn't. I wouldn't carry any of it well. If I didn't do my face, if I did not maintain it, I would look like a fucking Sharpay. I don't have the skin to be like, yeah, fabulous in 50. It would be bad. I would be off. People would try to help me across the street if I didn't do anything to my face. But what I'm considering, and I've talked about a lot, is plastic surgery. But something that just happened, didn't just happen. 2 years ago, I had appendicitis. I got appendicitis in Rome. And flew back to the States to have the surgery for some weird reason. No, this actually not. I got appendicitis in Rome. They kept me in the hospital. They filled me up with antibiotics, and they sent me home. I decided to come home because America takes your appendix out. And for some reason in Europe, they didn't do that. So at advice of people that I knew, there would be another, once my, I guess when the antibiotics were off, I was supposed to then have another attack of appendicitis, is what everybody said was going to happen, and it is what happened. But anyway, so I flew home on antibiotics, came back to the States, and I ended up getting this thing called C. diff. It's a really fun story, me and all my ailments. But anyway, so all of this happened, and when I was semi-normal again, I was able to have surgery. And when I went in to have surgery, they discovered that I had an umbilical hernia. Now that's, my dad had one, my sister's children have them, I guess it's genetic. I had no signs of it. But it's a hernia behind your belly button that you have from birth. And the doctor said, we're going to go in, when we do your appendicitis, we're going to do your belly button hernia, because years from now it could actually pop. And in the meeting, in our talk about what the scars were going to be, he said, you'll have a little scar, which I do. And he said, and your belly button's going to be different. And I was like, who cares? And he was like, it'll just be a little bit different, the shape, because once we cut into it. And I was like, okay. For the last 2 years, whenever I have my midsection showing, and I had just been to Florida, I was on Miami again, and every single time I put on my bathing suit, anytime I see my stomach, I have to look at it in the mirror like it's a stranger's fucking body. I stare, and I'm like, whose stomach is that? Because realistically, the belly button is the nose of your body. It's the center point of your body, right? Like your face has your nose, your body has your belly button. And I didn't think about it. I was like, oh yeah, go ahead, just do it. It has changed. I don't know if we're going to do pop-up. I hope we do. My before belly button and my after belly button are completely different. And it sounds silly, but when you look at yourself, and you see a body that for 51 years I had one belly button, because my belly button was actually a belly button. It was sort of an outie, but without coming out. But you could see it, that you could see there was a button in the middle of my belly. Now there's like this weird, someone else's slice. It's strange because I'm thinking it brings me back to this whole surgery thing. And if you're going to do that, I keep talking about it. I have spent the amount of money that it would have cost for my facelift 20 times since I've talked about this. Like, it's not like I'm not overspending, so I don't want to splurge. I splurge on the stupidest of things. We'll talk about the chocolates and the cherries. But I don't think it was conscious, but I think subconsciously I'm a little bit nervous of what that must feel like to actually look at your face and have it be different. I'm uncomfortable. I'm not as secure with my midsection as I was when I had my old belly button. Like, every time I see myself, I see a new stomach. It looks like someone else's belly. And I imagine that's got to be such a shock when you do your face. I want to do Invisalign, which I think it's such a gradual change that might not be as shocking, because I had braces. I never wore the retainer because I was too cool for that. And so my tooth went back to being crooked. My front tooth is crooked, which I don't know if you can see it. I have really tiny little teeth. Anyway, for years I wanted to do veneers, but I think that it was, for me, the major, to commit to that much of a change to your face. And people who do veneers, I know so many people, and they look fantastic. I don't know anyone who's actually done a bad job on veneers or looked, they're in between, anyone who's done this or has friends that have done it, in between their permanent teeth and their old teeth, they do get that weird in-between set where they look a little bit like they have chiclets in their mouth. Chiclets is a gum. Deanna probably doesn't know what a chiclet is, but these are little square white gums. My producer is 4, so she has no idea. If you don't go directly to your permanents, there is that weird, awkward horse teeth on the in-between. Anyway, plastic surgery. So yeah, I'm the belly button thing kind of threw me for a loop, because I'm like, if I'm so crazy about this belly button, how am I going to feel? I guess like a facelift and the eyes, which is the two things I really want to do, doesn't so much change your face as it does lift the skin back on the face that you already have. So maybe that's not going to be as shockingly different as if I was to get a nose job, which is another thing I wanted to do. I wanted to do all of it. I haven't done any of it. What do you think? What's your thoughts on this? Do you think a lot of people get nose jobs? And when I was in high school, like, so many of the girls in my high school got nose jobs and boob jobs, which I think if you're going to do, I see a lot of boob jobs on the internet. All these very wealthy people do boob jobs, and they're really bad. Like, it's strange for me that you have a lot of money and you have bad boobs. I guess it's all about the surgeon. And I think another thing about boobs, I'm jumping all over here, but if you exercise too much, if you're super fit, you shouldn't get your boobs done, because it's so apparent on someone who has the muscle that they are just two big balloons. It's just not, there's nothing attractive. I have not seen personally a very nice, wow, I can't believe those are fake boobs on someone who works out, like, repeatedly. Not like someone who's fit, but someone who's muscular. You guys know what I'm talking about? There's like that bubble, that like clear sign that these things are fake. And I don't think that's the objective when you're getting fake boobs, unless you're making money on fucking OnlyFans because you're fake boobs. Which I think there's a thing. There's people who like blow them up a lot. Anyway, why am I talking about tits when I was talking about my belly button? I'm going all over the place. Anyway, my belly button is different, people, and I'm having a hard time recognizing myself in the mirror when I walk by, if I'm looking just at my belly button. I couldn't pick my belly button out of a lineup. I wouldn't even know it was me. If I was arrested for something belly button related, I could probably get away with it, because my old belly button is no longer my new belly button. So if my old belly button committed a crime, my new belly button would get away with it. So how about that? I probably should have done some shit when I don't know what I could have done with my belly button illegally. I think I was always afraid to do surgeries, and so that's why it got here, that I got to 53 still talking about it, because I did. When I was in high school, I wanted to do plastic surgery. I wanted to have my nose done. I had my face, I don't know if you think I have a big nose now, but when I was growing up, I had a big nose. My face kind of grew into my nose. And people used to say all the time, it's such an annoying thing, your nose gives you character. And I was like, I am so fucking charismatic, I don't need a big nose. The nose has got nothing to do with my character. I'm funny and fabulous. I could have a tiny nose and still be this cool. But anyway, I did kind of grow into the nose, I guess. I had a boyfriend that called me, he used to say, snuffleupagus. Speak beak, no one knows what the nose knows. about me. Isn't that mean? Speak beak, no one knows what the nose knows. He was an asshole. Just kidding. No, he was an asshole. But anyway, a lot of people get surgery young, early. They start early. Like, I think it's probably smarter because if you start doing it, it's not such a huge change. Like now, although, when you these big weight loss shows, I have a friend who just lost a ton of weight, came to the apartment with another friend of mine, and I'm, hand to God, I would not recognize her on the street. She looks like a completely different person. She lost 200 pounds. I mean, that's got to be such a fucking amazing feeling. And like to ever have that big of a change in yourself. Like I used to want to have that happen somehow. I always thought it must be so cool to have like this new life and be this new person. And then my premenopause or perimenopause, whatever it was, when I went up to 150 pounds. So yeah, surgeries, I think if you start younger, it's probably not that dramatic of a change, and it's probably great to maintain. Like they have all these famous people who are showed up with on TV with one face and have a completely different face now. I'm not gonna name names, but you guys know who I'm talking about. They all look completely like different human beings from when they first started, but still beautiful. No revenge. I'm not saying anybody is. They're beautiful then, beautiful now, and you can do whatever you want to do. But starting so young, I was just scared. Like the nose job, I really wanted. That was something really big when I was growing up. I kind of am glad I didn't do it now because I don't know what my nose would have looked like as my face grew into it. And people were correct. Your face does change. I have pictures of myself when I was in my 20s that my girlfriends now, who didn't know me then, don't think looks anything like me. And I find it so shocking. Like, girls my neighbors, like my girlfriend that was just here, we were just together in Florida, and I showed her pictures of me, just growing up. And she's like, I don't even see you in this picture. And I'm wondering if my face changed that much. Maybe it's the Botox and the fillers. Maybe I'm actually changing my face and I don't even realize it. Getting me back to plastic surgery. So do I want to do it? I really do feel like I probably will do the eyes first because those are the ones who I think everyone does it. It's easier, it's quick, it's a quicker healing time. But really I'm going to have to know that if I don't have the same eyes, like how is that? That's got to be a trip. These things sometimes go wrong. You have these plastic surgeries. I think Bruce Jenner had it go wrong when he was still Bruce Jenner. Caitlyn Jenner now had gone in to get her eyes done when she was still Bruce Jenner. And they made a mistake. And Kathy Griffin, the comedian, she talks about it. Some people, and I think Kenny Rogers, same thing. People, they take too much off the eyelid and your eye doesn't close. Like that shit freaks me out. And I'm sure that happens so few and far between, but there's got to happen to somebody, right? So what if you're the one it happens to? But I think most of the time, the reason that I didn't do it was really out of fear. I don't know. I'm afraid of the whole healing time and pain. And I know it's probably worth it. I'll probably feel much better in the long run because it is a big thing for me personally. But I don't know. I think that starting younger now, it's really girls in high school did nose jobs when I was a kid. But now there's no one was doing fillers, and I don't even know if there was fillers and Botox when I was a kid. I don't think there was. I think that's pretty a new thing, newer. And if there was, we didn't know about it. As of right now, I'm still planning on doing it, but I'm a little scared from the whole new belly button thing. And the new belly button is we're going on 3 years, I think, with this new belly button. So it's really not the new belly button anymore. And it's not going anywhere, so it's my belly button. Speaking of health and health-related things, you all know I have a dog. If you don't know I have a dog, his name is Oliver. He's the greatest of all dogs that have ever walked the earth. He is obsessed with the water. Since I have him, I've had him 3 years. I have had him all over the world, and he has been in Mexico on the beach. I just had him in St. Thomas. He goes to Miami. The dog is obsessed with the salt, water, sand, and water. It's a different dog. The dog in New York sleeps all day, 3 walks, doesn't care. People say, when you see my dog on the beach, it's a completely different dog. I know I should move. It's killing me. But anyway, every single time from when I first got him, he does this thing where he tries to clean the ocean. He puts his little head in and he takes things out, which means every time he does that, he gets salt water. So every time that we traveled to a beach from the time he was a baby until Puglia in June of last year, he gets sick and he gets saltwater poisoning. And if anyone has had this happen to their dogs, it is so scary. The first time you think you're gonna die, you don't know what's happening. He starts all of a sudden, he starts shaking. The first time it happened with him, where were we? We were away. I might have been in Mexico. I was somewhere away, so we didn't have an immediate place to go to a vet, but they found me one. He feels a little bit lethargic, and I always wash him after the beach. Anyway, he gets a little lethargic, he sleeps, and then he wakes up whining. And then there's vomiting, and then there's diarrhea, and they shake, and it's terrible. And what I learned in Puglia was that thank God for I always go back to ChatGPT. I believe it was Chat. He told me there's certain signs that it's like a very big episode, and any of these, like if he starts having seizures, which he had not had, any of this, what you do is you just wait it out. You give them water as much as you can, try to encourage them to drink water, and in a few hours it will pass unless it's like really dangerous, and then you'll know the signs. That being said, this time it happened, and I've avoided it by giving him food. I bring food to the beach now. It completely stopped it from happening. He'll still do the same stuff in the water, but I'll give him biscuits, I give him his food on the beach, and I guess it absorbs it. We have a great routine. We figured it out. He hasn't been sick. It's amazing. Until this time. So this time, he's got this new habit of finding these fucking green beans off. I don't know what they are. Apparently, someone said they're mango. There might be mango somethings. I don't know. The strings. Do you know what I'm talking about? The mango. There's something to do with the mango. It's a green thing, looks like a green bean, and it's in the ocean for some reason. And my dog finds them and he tries to eat them, and he got himself sick. But what I did this time, it was so crazy, was that I was like, I'm doing this myself. I'm not taking him to the vet. He's going to be okay. And I picked him up from, he was underneath, he likes the little place that he hides. And I picked him up from where he was hiding, put him between the pillows on the bed, wrapped him up in the towel that I use because I have a bad neck and I forgot that's a whole other story. I forgot to take my neck pillow, so I roll towels. I'm that old. So I take my little neck pillow towel thing, put it under his head, and I proceed with a straw to suck water out of a bottle and place it into my dog's mouth, from my mouth into his mouth. So here I am on the bed, my dog is sick, and I got ice chips, like I was with a pregnant girl. I'm giving him, as if he's in labor, feeding my dog ice chips on the bed. Straw, you suck the straw, put my tongue on it, put the straw in his mouth, and mouth to mouth fed my dog water. And I have to tell you, he was better, quicker than he'd ever been better before. The turnaround time was so much faster. I would put the water, he was cute at one point, and when I picked the straw up, he would get ready for it. Like, please don't I hand feed you already. If you think I'm fucking water feeding you too. Like a schmuck walking around with a straw in my mouth, which I would do, by the way, forever and ever if that's what he wanted me to do, because I'm that in love with him. But to love something this much is like, I couldn't handle him being sick. And I was like, I'm going to do all the mommy stuff. And it's just so, I don't understand. I talk about this a lot. I don't know what I would do if I had kids. This dog got sick and I was like Nurse Kelley. I was like, let me get the ice chips. I'm going to straw. And what was stupid, what I did do was I put the water into a water bowl as if that made it any better to suck the water out of that and not out of the Evian bottle that I was, anyway, whatever. That was just a weird thing. I thought it should be in a dog bowl so that he didn't think it was, I don't know. I don't know why I did it. I was just in panic mode. But I got my dog healthy. He was much better, much quicker. I Googled what to do, like how many hours, like what the turnaround time was once I started giving them water and when it would be better or worse. We passed the 3-hour mark and he was fine, took him out for a walk. He did in fact have diarrhea, which is a good sign. The one thing he did do that he's never done before was he got up, and they said it's very important if he moved himself, which he did. He got himself, he moved, and then he went into the hallway and he actually peed, which I put in, and they said it was a good sign that his kidneys were. So what happens is the salt water dehydrates them, and they can get kidneys can shut down and they can die. And if they have too much sand, that can happen too. So really be careful, anybody who takes their dogs to the beach, who has a dog like my moron dog. If I gave him a steak on the street in New York, he'd walk by it. If I he doesn't eat burgers. He doesn't eat. People try to give him treats. He doesn't take anything from anybody. But I could literally put shit in sand and he would eat it. He's so obsessed with the ocean and anything ocean-like. He ate a fork. He ate the top of a plastic fork the other day. He pooped it out. But like, he doesn't do any of that in New York. I could literally leave a burger on my table and he would just look at it. If I don't hand feed this dog, he's not taking it. Anyway, unless it's in the water. So Oliver's fine now, thank you God, and I'm a little damaged from the whole incident, but he's going to be fine. And what had happened, by the way, I told you he ate the green bean, but I did run out of biscuits, and I dragged out the thyme in the water. So it is kind of my fault because I know the balance now. I blame myself. It's my fault. I'm the human. He's the baby, person. And I should have known better than to bring him down there longer and not have enough biscuits. But I did feed him from a straw water to a dog's mouth, like a mama bird. And I felt very good about that. And I hate birds, but I did do that for him. So speaking of loving your dog, I follow on Instagram, because he's only on Instagram and TikTok. He's not on Facebook. There's a lot of fake accounts on Facebook. A man named Eddie and his dog Chooch. The name of the account is Eddie and Chooch. I've been following them for a long time. He recently, last year, went on vacation with his girlfriend and found a stray dog on a beach, followed him around. They had to, unfortunately, leave the dog on the beach overnight because the place they were staying in wouldn't allow them to bring the dog with them back to the Airbnb. But he went back the next day, and he and his girlfriend saved the second dog, Cece, who is now the second dog for Eddie and Chooch, which is what the site is called. He now has Eddie and Chooch, but also there's a dog named Cece. So he's had Cece for a year, and to watch these two dogs fall in love with each other and play, and to see Cece just become a house dog. What Eddie says is that Chooch taught her how to be, and said this is a stray dog on the streets that lived on beaches and didn't drank water out of dirty puddles. The bond between these dogs and the bond between him and these dogs was just so beautiful, and Chooch was such an incredible dog. And unfortunately, he passed away last week. Eddie had gone on vacation. Chooch had thrown up a week earlier. Took him to the vet. His normal vet wasn't around, so we had to take him to a different emergency vet. They said everything was okay, blah, blah, blah. He brought him home. The dog started eating, got back to normal, was in a great space, was happy again. And so Eddie felt comfortable to go away with his girlfriend. I don't know who he went to Vegas with, but I believe it might have been his girlfriend or friends. And while he was there, Chooch was with his normal babysitter that he's had since he's a puppy. And she was, of course, your daily updates, and said Chooch was drinking a lot of water and then had thrown up again. So Eddie said, please bring him to the vet. And meantime, he's planning to fly back home. And they get to the vet. The vet says they see a mass by his spleen. Apparently, dogs can live without spleens. So Eddie says, go ahead, do what you need to do. I'm getting on the next flight. I'm coming home. And they get in, and unfortunately, there's cancer everywhere. It seems that a mass had burst in Chooch's belly, and that's why he was drinking a lot of water. There was blood in his stomach, and unfortunately, as much as they tried, they could not keep Chooch alive long enough to have Eddie get home to put his dog, to be there when the dog passed. So he had to do it over FaceTime. I am completely heartbroken for them. I feel like I have friends. I'm getting choked up talking about it. I had a cat for 20 years, and she stopped eating. He stopped eating. I'm saying Jack is a boy. He stopped eating, and I was in Turks and Caicos, and I said, okay, I'm flying home. And my vet called and said, unfortunately, I can't keep. That'd be inhumane to keep him until you're here. He's riddled with cancer. And so I too had to put my cat down via FaceTime, and it's loving an animal is loving an animal, and I'm not lessening my love for my cat as what I have for Oliver. It's just a different like the need, my dog's need for me, the way in which I know Jack loved me, but Oliver, like just the other, like I'm saying, when he was sick, he looked at me like he wants me to help him, and I know Eddie's been talking about it on his page that. He just wishes he could have been there. But a lot of people say, and I hope that he knows this, that a lot of times it's very hard for the dog. If they don't always want us there, and they say sometimes that a dog will go away or hide when they're sick. But that being said, Eddie, I know you don't know me, but we are all mourning with you. I have friends calling me, people texting me. I have one woman, Dorit, who is beside herself sobbing. You put up beautiful stuff. Thank you for sharing. And one thing that he did do, and if you guys should check him out, he rescued Cece a year ago, and he says, thank God he did, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. But he still has Cece, and he's a beautiful, beautiful dog, and so their relationship, and however his life progresses without Chooch, it's very new for him still. But what he did do that was amazing is that when he finally brought Cece home, he got home, he had to go to the vet and had to say goodbye to his dog that was already gone. I can't even fucking imagine doing that. But he then had to bring Cece home. And she ran around looking for her brother. And when I tell you, guys, watch these two dogs, she would lay on top of him. He's a pit, and she's like a Great Dane of some, and she's a million different dogs, I'm sure, because she's a street dog, but she's the size and the body type of a Dane. And she would just curl up on top of her brother and sleep on this dog all the time. They had such a great relationship. They just had their first fight, by the way, which just watch him and you'll find out. I'm giving out the whole story. He's a great guy, great girlfriend, 2 beautiful dogs, now 1 beautiful dog. But what he did was the vet said, Chooch, she'll keep looking. So he got the blanket that Chooch passed away on, and he put it up on his page, and he had to give it to Cece, and they said dogs will smell and understand death, and she will know. And guys, as I am not kidding you, first of all, when you can see, I was watching her crying through it, but she goes through it and she sniffs in it, and for 1 second she stops, and she looks up and she puts her hand on her father and puts her head on him. She got it. He talks about her getting it. We all saw her get it. And one thing is, if you have 2 dogs, or if you have someone who passes who had a dog, you have to share that. Animals feel abandoned. They don't understand where we went or where their best friend went. There's a way they can smell birth and they can smell death. What I want to talk about these 2 dogs is, I think a lot of people, they get these dogs that are supposed to, as your dog gets older, they say you get a transition dog. And everyone's telling me I got to get, when he gets a little older, and although I saw now with Eddie that he says it, if he didn't have Cece, he doesn't know what he would do. But the way Chooch loved Cece and they loved each other definitely made it way easier. Because sometimes I think if you have a dog like my dog and you try to get a transition dog in the house, he would flip out. Oliver would not have that at all. But then I'm like, am I wrong? Before this happened, before Chooch passed away, I was making a sarcastic comment about it being a stopover dog, a layover dog. Like, you're not always, it's not really what you want, but you got to get something on the in between. It's like the place you stop before you get to the place you want to go, which is not true. It was a silly joke that I was making prior to seeing this one situation. And there is a part of me that thinks, man, now that I'm seeing what this looks like, and he does talk about it, Eddie's very, I've just joined, I used to just watch him like the public profile, and now I pay to watch the private stuff because I'm just so attached. I feel like that was my other life. I feel like it was, all of us living together. But now I get to see like the behind the scenes stuff, and he talks about if he didn't have Cece, like he's very open about it. He doesn't know what he would have done, and that this is like the biggest loss of his life. And I get really scared because I don't know what I'm going to do, and I don't know if you should have a secondary dog. And though he will say, and he said on his Instagram and on his TikTok that getting Cece helped get Chooch to like play more and be a little bit more active. He lost weight afterwards, and no one could see the cancer coming, of course. That's not something that, and apparently in animals, cancer spreads very fast. It just happened to my sister-in-law and my brother just had to put their 10-year-old border collie down. One of the things that Eddie says on his on the channel now is if you have a dog over 5, that you should have sonograms done. I think it's sonograms or x-rays or whatever the medical term is. I'm probably wrong about the actual thing. I think it's a sonogram. Because if there is a mass growing, you won't know it and they don't show signs until it's too late. And that's what he's trying to tell people. And I'm going to tell you guys the same thing. If you have an animal over 5, blood work doesn't show it until it's, really spread and there's a problem. Most of the time it doesn't show. So you should do a yearly sonogram. Chooch, I think, is going to be a legend for a very long time, and we'll be talking about him. I know I personally will be talking about him for a really long time. He was a beautiful dog. He was Eddie's best friend, and it was amazing to be part of that. So I thank you, and I'm so heartbroken for him, and so sad for Cece. But do I want to have? Do I ever want to come home to an empty house? Like, I think that's something a lot of people do. A lot of people want to, if they lose their pet, they want to have that time in between to mourn the pet. And then if you have 2 animals, of course you have to be there for the second animal, so it might buffer the loss of the first. But I don't think it buffers it. I think it just gives you something you have to do, It's like the reason it's so overwhelming is that they're always there. Like, my dog is always there. It's every time I am in my house, when I walk home, if I come, he goes everywhere with me. It's not like I come home to Oliver. It's 15 minutes with his telenovela he has around my apartment when I go to the Pilates class. He literally now goes directly to the front of the camera and throws his head back and howls. It's like he knows what he's doing for 15 minutes. 50 minutes, like, randomly spread out. This dog is left alone. Other than that, he's right next to me. So I don't really know what it's like to have a dog that's happy to see you. He's probably sick of me. I think it's me. I don't think it's him. I'm the fucking problem. I'm the psycho who can't let him go. He's probably not got any... Well, I'm kidding. Clearly, unless he's an opera singer on the side, he shouldn't be throwing his head back and doing a telenovela while I'm fucking working out. We're both psychotically attached to one another. I don't know if I want to do a transition dog when Oliver gets older, but we'll see. I'm not there yet. I was against it 100% because of how much he loves me and how much he needs me, but I also think he's a dog, and he would probably really like the company of another dog. So I don't leave Oliver alone. I have a sickness with it, but I was supposed to go on a date with this guy, and clearly I don't leave the dog home. And when I said I was going to bring the dog, he was aggravated at me bringing the dog, which is completely insane. Anybody I date is going to have to deal with me and my dog all the time. So there's that. But talking about that, I ended up going on my date. I went on a date. Yeah, take a second with that one. I got dressed, picked an outfit, sent it to all my friends, preempted what I was wearing. Smart, because I freak out ahead of time. Got the outfit together, went uptown on this date, which is another weird thing for me. And I have to say it was a pretty great date. We had a very nice time. And I am good at the dating thing. I'm pretty charming. And so while on my date, I am going to say this, and I don't care. I was on my date, and on my date, he said something about my name, like my full name. And I'm like, how do you know my name? Because, when you meet someone online, they don't know your full name. And it turns out, said date watches the podcast. And he started quoting me. And I was like, wait, what? I think I love you. I'm kidding. But he was like literally talking about subjects that I talk about on the podcast. And I'm like, I don't know if that's a breach in the contract of online dating that you know this much about me, though I Googled your ass too, and I took your picture off your website, sent it to my friends, because you know how I found you? I put your phone number into Google, and your phone number is connected. If your phone number is connected to an office or like a work phone, so I did Google you too, and I do know your last name, but I didn't tell him any of that last night. But I did go on the date. It was very nice. We will go out again, and yeah, it was nice. I think the dating thing is kind of fun. I think you got to break the ice. You just got to do it. But man, getting me to do it, I was fucking 2 seconds. I was 2 seconds away from canceling all day. My friends, if I tell you, my therapist, my girlfriends, everyone was like, you're going on. I had an hour and a half session yesterday before I went on a date. She was like, you're going on the date, my therapist. You're going on. It's homework. You need to go on a date. I went out, I was social, I think I did very well. It was kind of an odd situation. What he did with this date was he actually had me come and meet him. And this is important. He had me come and meet him, and at first I was taking points away because he didn't offer to get me a car. And I have some standards, and one of them is I'm traveling my ass to see you, you're paying for it. So he ends up sending me... It doesn't. No, I said, this is how long it's going to take me to get there. And he said, oh, should I send you a car? And I was like, he redeemed himself. And so I said, no, but you can next time. Seemed like cute little, like I want to see you again, even though I haven't seen you yet. Anyway, he did send me home in a car. He took care of everything. It was great. But I was with a bunch of friends. And like I get to meet all of his friends. And I think that for me, going uptown and taking a car seemed like dramatic. And I had someone recently tell me that they wanted to date or were dating someone who lived in like, I think like, I don't know, like somewhere far. Philadelphia, maybe? Pennsylvania? I don't know, somewhere far enough. But like, it was like a plane drive away. You know, like you could, like, it's not that far. It's like dating someone who lived in Montauk, right? You can date someone in Montauk. It's a plane ride away. Plane drive away. Do you get it? Like, if it's short enough, quick, like you could be in Miami in that time if you drove there. That's okay. You can date someone. But if it's a long plane ride away, then you can't. Like, if someone lives in Vegas and you live in New York, no problems to Vegas, but I don't think that's an easy dating situation. But if you have someone who is a plane drive away, you're fine. You can see someone, like for me, date someone in Boston. I could do that because it's a quick hop. Does that make sense? Anyway, I think you can do that. But for me, that's what it felt like to go uptown last night. I was going up to 60th Street and I was like, this is really far. And by the way, because I'm on the little tail end of the city, everywhere feels, it's closer for me to go somewhere in Brooklyn. It was very nice. I know my rules now. My rules are I have to know what I'm wearing at least 2 days ahead of time. And it worked. Thank God the weather didn't change. I looked cute. I wore all black. I did. I looked great. And we had a nice time. And he's really nice. And I think that dating should happen when the weather is warm because I get depressed and I think it's a good thing to do. I talk about, I don't like summer, it makes me sad. But I think if I'm dating, if I start having like some summer flingy things, that I might have more fun in the summer. I think that's a really good idea. What do you guys think? Yeah or no? I mean, I'm someone who doesn't want to typically do that, but I feel like I ripped the Band-Aid off and now I'm ready to rock. And I think I might go on I would see him again for sure. We're planning, he already asked me to go on a second date. Which I already canceled. That's the truth. I did cancel our second date because it was supposed to be tomorrow. But I have plans tomorrow that I forgot. So it's not about him. But I was very clear. I was like, I do not want you to think this is about anything other than me having no memory. But yeah, he was like, oh, you're going to talk about this on your podcast? I'm like, dude, I talk about everything. Of course I'm going to talk about this. And then he said, you talk about really crazy stuff. Like, he said something like, he mentioned the hair. He goes, why are you always talking about your hair? And I said, the hair on my chin or the hair on my head? And he's like, see, you say crazy shit like that. So it's nice to have someone who, I never had that happen before. Like, I have a lot of friends who are celebrities. And so I was telling one of my friends, and I said, well, I'm sure that that's not weird for you, for someone to quote you or to, like, to know something about you. Like, that was a first for me. I was really all in my feelings. I felt a little famous right there. But yeah, it was nice. It was a cute date. And so if anyone does want to date me, they have to watch the podcast first and still think I'm cool. I'm kind of avoiding it. I'm like, I don't want to tell anybody about this because they're going to watch and hear about on again, off again and hear crazy shit about my taking too much testosterone and think I might have a penis and I don't. But who knows, you know? So watch the podcast or don't watch the podcast. That's a good question. Do I want people to see it before time? Like, should I tell somebody watch the podcast? Although I also think I might be the Jerry Springer of today. I don't quite know. I don't know if I should have somebody watch the podcast before they date me. I would have been so nervous had I known that he saw this. And then I would have been all apologetic. Like, what am I apologizing for? This is who I am. But he did say, like, you talk about a lot of stuff. I'm like, it's a fucking podcast. What am I supposed to do? Sit in silence? Although I did do at one point. So yeah, the date was fun. I think summer dating is going to be fun. Although, and haven't brought him into this, but On Again, Off Again is coming home. That's a whole podcast by itself. But we don't talk about dating, if I'm dating or if I'm not dating. And he has my location, which is a whole other thing. By the way, we need a whole podcast about that. But he is coming home for a month or something. So might crimp my dating. But, you know, I'll take a hiatus for, what is it called? A hiatus, yeah, when he's here or not. But yeah, it was fun. I'm excited. I think I'm going to go on some summer dates and see how it goes. And I do have another man that I'm talking to right now. So I'm not closed. I'm going to keep doing it. So you guys can listen to me and my dates. And I did do it. Very proud of myself. First date in, I can't tell you how long, like really too long. But it was like a bicycle. I did it well. And I'm very social. I'm much more social than I thought I was. So I don't know if I got to the point, but I got in and it was with all of his friends. So on the first date, I'm like on a date with 10 people. And I worked the room and I'm like, I don't know. It was good. I did well. I think I did well. He wants to see me again, so apparently. And one of the people I met last night, I text today. We exchanged numbers last night, first time we had met, and I said it was nice meeting you, and he said let's stay in touch. And this isn't anybody I'm romantically interested in, but it was someone that I met last night, so clearly I'm social and people like me. I shouldn't be putting all my eggs in one basket. I went on one date, but in my head I think one date means I can't go out with anybody else because I'm fucking old school psycho crazy person. This is not the truth. I broke the ice. I'm going to go on more dates. That's what I'm going to do. But at some point, he told me he loved me. And like literally said it a few times, like, I love you, love you. And first of all, that's not a casual thing. I probably have said before my pet peeves, I don't like people say I love you. I fucking hate that. But he was like saying it like, and I go, you don't even know me. But now I'm thinking about it, oh my God, he might love me because he loves me from the podcast. Like, do you think I'm this person? I am this person. So if you love this person, you really do love me because I am as much me as I can be right here with you guys. I am not even this much me when I'm alone. I'm more me with you than I am when I'm with me. Like if you watch this and do want to date me, that says something about you. I don't know. But he did tell me he loved me. And how do you feel about that? The love thing. Saying I love you too quick. Who says I love you first? I don't think I've ever said I love you first. So if you want to set me up, I'm open to dating now. I have a few rules. They have to pick me up. That was another thing. He started quoting my rules. That was crazy. It's crazy. He's like, I'll hold the door for you. I don't know how I didn't catch on. I didn't catch on that he watched the podcast. Like I didn't catch on when Danielle said the thing about the Kermit the Frog's feet. Anyone who ever quotes me or says something, I don't catch on yet. But he did. He quoted me and said, oh, I know you like to have your door held. And I didn't even catch it. What was wrong with me last night? It was crazy. So the love bombing thing, that's irritating. It's not irritating. It's fine. It's cute. Some people use the word love you. I don't think the guy loves me, but it was. He did say it a few times last night. Loving something or someone is, for me, the greatest gift I can give myself. It brings me such joy to love. You know, I just can't imagine what is a better feeling. Being loved is great, but God, it's so much better to love somebody. I am so filled up by this fucking dog and my family and the people that I love. But right now I'm all about the dog at the moment. But like for me, I think really genuinely, wholeheartedly giving yourself over to love, to loving something, even at the fear of losing it, because it is like that for everybody you love. You know, everything you love, there's a fear of losing. But my God, what a great gift to give yourself. I am so blessed to love as much as I love the people and things and animals that I love. And I think that you should give yourself the gift. It's such a scary thing too. It's like you're putting yourself out there. You really open yourself up to pain when you love like that. When you just, like I go all in. And when I'm doing that, it just feels, for me, like the right, best, most incredible thing in the world to give myself loving something else. I just think and even if it hurts, I think it's the most incredible thing. It's a beautiful gift you can give yourself. I love hard, and when I get annoyed hard. So here's some peeves. I recently was in Miami, and I ordered fast food, right? It's called fast food. I ordered Burger King. But I ordered, and my fast food, I think it was like 1:30 in the afternoon, and things are going on, and I looked down, it's like, your food will be here 2:40. And I'm like, an hour and fucking 10 minutes? From 2:40, it went to 3:15. From 3:15, your food, okay. I got a Whopper with cheese, minus pickle and tomato, French fries, a Coke, and a chocolate sundae. You know what that chocolate sundae is gonna look like in 3 hours in Miami heat? So, all right, thank you for the fucking chocolate milk. So I'm waiting, and it changes again. So I go to cancel the order on Grubhub, and your order's already been made, we can't cancel your order. Oh, okay, that's psychotic. So I'm talking to them, quick text, and the computer person was like, sorry about the delay, you can cancel your order or continue waiting for your order and we'll give you a $5 credit. And then I said something and goes, sorry for the delay, you can cancel your order or you can wait for your order and give you $5. And like, it keeps repeating the same thing. And I'm like, oh, this is a computer, okay, that's fine. Call, I get someone on the phone. I said, look, listen now. I ordered Burger King, fast food, 3 hours ago. Now I'm not gonna cancel because everything's taking too long and I'm getting annoyed. So I'm gonna wait for the food because I'm really hungry. And can you tell me what's going on? If you cancel the food right now, you're still gonna get charged for it. But if you don't cancel the food, we can give you a $5 credit. And I said, okay. And so, but the food it's fast food. It's been 3 hours. If you cancel the food, it's a person on the phone. And I go, are you, and repeating on, I'm like, I believe, I think I might have had I think my head might have popped off and come back on my body. I said, excuse me, would you please do me a favor? I said, I have to go, because the change that said it's going to be here for like 4:44 now. I'm fucking waiting 3 hours for a cheeseburger. I said, it's fun, I can't talk to you because you're aggravating me. So hang up the phone on him. The food comes. The food's fucking freezing cold. And I don't have a sundae. I have a piece of cake. I have an Oreo cake of some kind. Oh no. I take it, I put it in the microwave, which I don't microwave. I don't own a microwave. I have an old weird thing about it. I think it's going to give me cancer. I have no idea. I'm afraid of microwaves. It's another weird pet peeve. We can talk about that later. But anyway, where I was staying had a microwave. I microwave freezing cold burger. Fries are sloppy. Soda, I could have taken a bath. I could have taken a hot bath inside my Coca-Cola, and then it comes with the cake. Now I'm fucking done. I call Grubhub. I'm not going to do this texting thing. Hi. How are you? Great. Okay. So my food was 4 hours late, and it was the wrong order, and it was inedible. I'm sorry, ma'am, but because you had your food, we can offer you with the... Okay, well, this is the problem. I said, I understand. I'm very sorry, ma'am, but and literally, this is a fucking person on the phone. And I said, I said, do me a favor, dude, do me a favor. Are you not allowed to get off script? Because if you repeat the same fucking line to me again, I'm about to have a panic attack. The food. Hear this like you're hearing it for the first time. Stop reading the script that you're supposed to read to me and be a human being on the other end of this phone. My Burger King was 3 hours late, wrong order, inedible. I'm not paying for this, and if you think a $5 credit's going to be enough, it's not. And now I'm fucking furious. Ma'am, I understand. I go, do me a favor, don't talk to me. Give me someone who's not scripted, because if you repeat the script with me one more time, I'm going to find out where you live. Tell me, give me a boss. Is there a boss there that can be off script? Yes, ma'am. I said, don't do the script again. Puts me on hold. I am on hold 20 minutes. 20 minutes. But you know what I did? I fucking sat on that phone. I was not letting this go. I don't care about that fucking $14, whatever it was. I'm about to have customer service. Guy gets on the phone. He scripts me out in the beginning. I go, excuse me, are you the manager? He goes, hey, I am. I said, if you repeat the script to me right now, I'm going to probably have a heart attack and it'll be your fault. And he goes, what? I said, listen to me. Burger King was 3 hours late. It was inedible. And I'm not paying for it. It was the wrong order. So now, either you give me the credit for the full amount of my food, or I'm going to dispute it with Amex. And trust me, I'm going to win, and I'm going to be really, really mad at you. I'm telling you, as God is my witness, this man starts to repeat this. I said, what's your name again? Can't remember his name. John. I said, John, take your fucking face out of the script. Look away from the computer. Take your face away from the fucking computer right now. Talk to me like I'm your friend whose food was late. Well, I go, if you tell me you're not allowed to go off script, I'm going to have a heart attack. I'm literally going to have a heart attack, and it's going to be your fault. Talk to me like you're a person. Do you relate to do you eat Burger King, John? John, my Burger King was 3 hours late. It's called fast food. And this is my third time calling. And I've been offered $5 with the same fucking script over and over again. I've talked to 3 people. At that point, it was 3 people because it was the computer person, that person, 3 people. And they all gave me the same script. And I'm going to have a panic attack and a heart attack if you don't fucking talk to me like I'm a human being and get your face out of your script. He said, I'm very sorry that the food was late. You're right. I would be furious. I'm like, oh my God. I said, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, John, for being off script for me. And you know what he said? Based on the length of time it took you to get your food, the fucking guy went right back to the script. I'm like, different script, but you're on a script. I go, so this whole time, because of the length of time my food took to get there, it was automatically going to be comped by Grubhub if you got the right person. I said, does anyone else that works for you know this for a fact? Because everyone else was giving me $5. I don't want the $5. By the way, they comped it and they gave me the $5. I've ordered 20 fucking times from Grubhub since then. I've not used the $5. So, point of the matter was, and I clearly have a feeling about this. When did we stop being fucking humans? When did we stop communicating with people like they're people. You work for a food delivery. If my food is late and wrong, what are you doing with the credit? What are you even talking about? Grubhub, what is it with this fucking food? What is wrong with you people? You don't trust people that work for you to have their own opinions? They can't even go off script on a phone call? They couldn't even react to me. Like, I know that guy wanted to laugh when I told him I was gonna have a heart attack, but he just, I mentioned, and I go, are you, turn away, spin your chair, get away, get your fucking head out of the computer. Get your face away from the computer and have a conversation with a human being on the other end of this phone. What is wrong with you? Oh my God. Okay. So that's a pet peeve. What is going on with these fucking scripts? Like, I don't understand. It is so not okay to not have a human being relate to you. And I'm telling you, I go back to my customer service, those 10 commandments, I would say always relate to a person. Find something you can relate to. Tell this person that you can relate to what they're going through. It's so important for someone to get it. It was like $12. I probably spent more waiting on hold and probably in stress drugs for this, because I was like, I'm not hanging up the phone. It was like 20 minutes, 21 minutes and 30 seconds. I'm like, I'm staying on this phone. I don't care. I will be here till tomorrow. Scripted bothers me. I know there's things you need to say. They're key phrases. You know, we used to have to say it so right. We have to say my pleasure. Nah, my pleasure is not scripted. But each individual, here's my advice to you, Grubhub, or anyone else who has a script that deals with customers, stop. If you can't hire people you trust to have fucking smarts and to relate to the customers, don't hire them. Find people who can talk, express empathy. That's what I said. I go, to be met with zero empathy when you're a customer who's spending money is mind-blowing. And if you read the script to me one more fucking time, I'm coming through the phone. I'm gonna come through the phone like the Kool-Aid man comes through the walls. And that's what I was gonna do into that office at Grubhub and kill everybody. Not kill them, but yell at everybody. I was gonna yell at everybody. How do you not have compassion and empathy and you're in customer service and you read a script to me? Do not do that. Stop. I'm over it now. I talked to John. That wasn't his name. He related. I got my credit. It was great. I'm better now, but that was a pet peeve of mine. I'm going to bring it down. I'm going to try to relax. I'm going to get a massage or something to calm my nerves. But thank you guys for coming. I so appreciate you being here. I'm sorry I go a little ballistic about things. Tell me how you feel. If you have any questions, let me know. Please subscribe, review, ask questions. Tell me what you think. Talk to me. Thank you very much for coming back every week. I really appreciate you. And have a great week. And I'll see you next week.
Hey guys, thank you so much for showing up for another episode of Still Can't Cook. Subscribe to us wherever you listen to your podcasts, on YouTube or any other podcast provider. And if you're on Instagram or TikTok, please follow us at Still Can't Cook. Love to have you guys back every week. So happy that you joined us and look forward to seeing you next week.